Hello? Hello there? Is this thing on? Every single time I record a video, my eyes water. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Luna, and today we are going to judge people because it's 2026 and my number one priority this year is to start judging people. That's it. I am too kind. I am too humble. I am too much of a pushover. I let people walk all over me and I do anything to people please. So this year, I'm going to let people please me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I actually love people. I love to hear your guys' stories. I love to read stories. I am addicted to Reddit. I'm addicted to Reddit. So today we're going to be reacting to AITA posts on Reddit. If you don't know what that means, it means, am I the arsehole? I think I can say that. It's 2026. It's time to delve into this year, to really get into this year. And I am addicted to these posts. I love reading all different kinds of posts actually on Reddit, but specifically AITA is so fun for me. So we're going to react to some 2026. Already we have the drama. And luckily it's not ours. It's not yours. It's not mine. It's somebody's though. Hopefully it's not yours. We got the tea. We got the tea and we're going to place judgment in the kindest way possible, of course. You know, we're not really being mean here. It's all out of love. Well, sometimes it's not out of love, actually. That was a lie. I'm a liar. We might actually severely dislike these people. So let's begin. We're starting real hot and juicy here, okay? This one was from 20 days ago, which means that it was from January 2nd. So very, very early in the year, you started 2026 off. This might have possibly even happened prior to that. So, am I the asshole for leaving my mom at the airport with no ticket and no plan? It sounds like yes, but also, I don't know your mom. I don't know one thing about her. This still weighs on me. Some background. My mom was abusive growing up. Red flag. Red flag. A million red flags. Obviously, this is a problem. It got bad enough that at 12, I left home through the courts and moved in with my dad. Holy cow. That decision fractured our family. On the court paperwork under name of child, she wrote something like, I have no son. Okay, so I'm going to cry already. That is horrible. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. That's actually deplorable. I had little contact with her after that, briefly at 17, again in my early 20s, and not consistently until much later. I am now almost 40. I spent over 20 years drinking heavily and finally got sober in 2018, which is when I made an effort to reconnect with my family, including my mom. She's closer to 70 now and has zero contact with 2 of her 3 kids. Reconnecting wasn't easy. When I asked if she ever reflected on the abuse, she told me that I was an adult and needed to let it go already. That was a turning point. I realized any forgiveness would be one-sided, and if I wanted peace, that it was on me. Since then, our relationship has been rocky but present. We've had family reunions and even traveled overseas together for 3 weeks. That is very impressive. Honestly, good on you, because takes a lot of patience. A lot of patience. Holy cow. We argue often, usually over small things, but we stayed in contact until this. Last summer, I invited her to my city to see a band she's loved since I was young. The plan was simple. She'd arrive on Wednesday, we'd go to the concert on Thursday, she'd fly out to visit my sisters on Friday, and I'd leave early Saturday for my own trip. She agreed. When she arrived, she mentioned she'd only bought a one-way ticket and would love to book the Friday flight later. That made me feel uneasy, and I reminded her several times to make sure that it was booked. I thought I was clear in my wording and tone that I didn't want anyone staying in my house while I was gone. Yes, that makes sense because you're leaving, of course. And honestly, you probably don't trust this woman. Friday came. The concert was fine. Then she told me she hadn't bought a plane ticket, and now, with prices having gone up, she planned to stay a few extra days while I was away. I told her plainly, I'm leaving at 5 a.m. tomorrow. You need to get on that plane. I even offered to cover the extra cost. She refused and invited herself to stay at my place. That's when I clearly said that I wasn't comfortable with anyone staying in my home while I wasn't there. She accused me of not trusting her and said that she was my mother. I said it wasn't about trust, which I wouldn't trust her. I just didn't want anyone in my house. The argument escalated. Finally, she said, "Fine, take me to the airport." I think she expected me to cave. I didn't. I packed the car, grabbed my daughter, and drove her to the airport in silence. When we arrived, it felt like a standoff, like she was waiting for me to say, "Never mind, don't go." I didn't. I took her bag out, set it on the curb, and told her, "If you can't find a ticket, let me know. I can help you to pay for a hotel." Then I left. Months later, I'm still thinking about it. I don't think I stranded my mom with no options. I offered her to cover the cost of the flight and the hotel, but I did leave her at the airport knowing she hadn't booked a ticket. Am I the asshole? Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so there are a lot of variables that go into this. Obviously, I think oh, this is tough. I don't love that she's 70 years old and being left alone. But also, she really put herself in this position. You gave her every opportunity. You let her know multiple times that you did not want anybody staying in your home while you weren't there. It doesn't matter who they are. You offered to get her a hotel. You offered to pay the extra cost of the plane ticket. Do I feel like it's a hard thing to do? Yes. Do I feel like you're setting boundaries that you needed to set for yourself, especially with a mother that was not a great parent to you? I feel like you're not the asshole. That's my personal opinion. I don't think that you are the asshole for this situation. If it was my mother, it would be a completely different situation because she's not your mother. So no, I don't think you're an asshole, but I can 1,000,000% understand why it would weigh heavily on your conscience, because you probably don't want to do that to anybody ever, no matter who they are. So no, I don't think that you're the asshole. And I'm sorry that your mother was so awful to you, even though you continue to try to have a relationship with her, probably for the sake of your own peace and also for your children. So let's read a couple comments real quick, just to see what everybody is kind of thinking here. This person said, "Dude, I have no son, and then I'm your mother. The switch up is so real. That is so, so true. F that. You're a better person than me, not the asshole. She wanted to be pushy and nosy while you were gone." Agreed. Agreed. Not the asshole. Congratulations on keeping your boundaries. Period. And handling the conflict like a mature adult. Yes, I agree. Definitely not the asshole. You are an excellent role model to your daughter about how to set boundaries. Woohoo! Green flag. We love boundaries. Let's go. Okay, so yeah. I, amongst many others, would say that you are, in fact, not the asshole. Ooh, this one sounds a little spicy. And we need the tea. Okay. This one is, would I be the asshole if I told my roommate's girlfriend the truth about what it's like to live with him? I guess it depends how awful this person is, but it sounds like it's pretty obvious that this person is not a good person to live with. So you would be doing her, a favor. You would be doing her a favor by letting her know this information. But could ruin your friendship if you have one. Okay, so and you're a woman. Okay, let's see here. Reverse. Okay, so I, 32 female, have been having an issue with my roommate. Let's call him Joe, 35 male. So this is a man and a woman living together. Obviously, maybe they're friends. Maybe they're not. Let's just keep reading. We moved in together last year as we were both looking for a pet-friendly home. I have cats and a dog. He has an extra large dog breed. Okay. And since we had been friends for a while, I figured it was a good idea. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Having roommates, no matter who they are, is hard. Okay. Your roommate is never going to be the same person as you. They're never going to have the same standards as you. You might love them to every fiber of their being, but they are a different person than you, and you're really, really going to have to meet in the middle. It is hard to have a roommate. I'll let you know. I've had plenty of them. So we figured it was a good idea. We were supposed to split housework evenly, but so far that hasn't happened. Surprise, surprise. When it's his turn to do the dishes, he puts dirty dishes back into the cabinet for me to find. He claims he doesn't see it, despite me talking to him about it no less than 3 times a week for the last 11 months. Okay, that's really gross. That's really gross, okay. How do you... Moving on. In the last 11 months, he's cleaned the bathroom a whopping total of 5 times. And each time I had to go back and re-clean the sink, toilet, mirror, and shower because they were not done and were still visibly dirty. And that was after 3 weeks of me asking him to please clean the bathroom each time. I work from home, but he doesn't, so he's supposed to be the one to take the garbage to the bins. That seems like a weird standard to have, but okay. I feel like that's not a good reason for him to have to take the garbage to the bins, but I guess maybe if he's on his way to work or something. Okay, I think that, like, that's just, yeah. Anyway, I take it out of the garbage can and replace the bag, leaving it tied by the front door where he asked me to, so it's easier for him to grab it on his way to work. Okay, so he takes the trash out while he's going to his car, or he's walking on his way to work, whatever he walks or drives to work. But he will leave it sitting there for days, and then whenever our dogs get into it, guess who has to clean up the mess? Me. Oh, this sounds all too familiar to me. Is this just my tea? Like, are you just... Okay. Oh, this is triggering me. Okay. This is the struggle of having roommates, I'm telling you, because your standards are not the same as other people's standards. And if you're a cleanly person and you live with someone who's not, it's not going to bother them. It's only going to bother you. He's also broken my vacuum. Oh, this happened to me too. This has happened to me. He let it fall down the stairs and the power button broke off. And his response was, well, it was an accident, so it's fine. Okay, so just, I don't know, he could help you to get another one. Especially if you're using it to clean both of your house and you have pets. There's probably hair everywhere. Okay, I'm going to stop yapping. Sorry. This is... It's a $300 vacuum that I got to help with our pet hair. My dog sheds a ton in the spring and fall, so I need a good vacuum. He's also destroyed several kitchen things of mine, my food processor, several collectible coffee mugs and plates, again, with no offer to replace them. That's kind of sad. Now, I was ready to just not re-sign the lease and move to a place of my own again when the lease is up. But now I found out that he wants to move in with his girlfriend, who has a disabled child and a high-energy dog. I want to warn her that he will only make her life harder since all he does is go to work and then sit on his ass gaming, leaving all the housework to me. Oh my god, is somebody living my life right now? Did I write this? Did I write this? Am I that petty? Did I, like, forget that I wrote this in my sleep? Okay, now I'm just talking shit. Okay. Sorry. I'm being mean to myself. This is kind of rude. I feel attacked. Okay, we're moving on. I have tried talking to him about this at least 50 times in the last year. It's crazy that you can remember that it's 50 times, but we've had a few actual arguments about it as well. I think she deserves to know that he is a useless man-child before she makes the mistake of moving him in. So would I be an asshole for telling her? Edited to add, so it has been edited. Over the last year, I have tried talking to him, creating a chore chart, giving him a list of things that I need to be done around the house. When he claimed his mother never taught him how to clean a house, I sent him some YouTube links that teach you how to clean everything and anything. I still get left doing 99.9% of the housework because I refuse to live in a dirty home. Okay, so I don't know if it's your place to tell the girlfriend, although woman to woman, I feel like I would want to know. Especially because, like, you're already having this experience. I don't know if it would be different if he had, like, a romantic involvement with you or, like, with the person that he's living with, if his actions would change, but from personal experience, I highly doubt it. I've lived with multiple different men, both partners and friends and just random roommates. You know, I have lived with plenty of men, and I can tell you right now that they're not going to change their habits that were never established whenever they were younger. I know men that are clean people, but don't clean up after themselves in the rest of the house. They keep their rooms clean, but the rest of the house they don't clean. Or I know men that grew up in very cleanly homes and their houses are literal pigsties, disastrous. So I don't think he's going to change. I think you're very much so right about that. And I think that he probably will make her life more difficult, especially since she has a child that she's going to have to care for significantly because they are disabled. And likely he will not be helping with that situation. And he probably will have more responsibility around the house. But I feel like you wouldn't be the asshole, but I don't know if it's necessary for you to let her know that, if that makes sense. I do think that if you do tell her that it could ruin your friendship, but it sounds like your roommateship has already kind of ruined your friendship because it feels to me like it is disrespectful for him to not be cleaning up after himself as a 35-year-old adult man. I think that's how old he was, but yeah, I feel like it is like blatant disrespect to like not be cleaning up after yourself, especially whenever you've asked time and time again. He clearly doesn't respect you. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Not the asshole, but also not your problem, and she probably won't listen to you. Yep. Yep. Definitely don't do it if you intend to remain friends with Joe. Yeah, I would say the exact same thing. Agreed. Agreed with you. I would totally do it, not the asshole. He obviously needs to live alone and figure himself out. I'd do it if it was just going to be her, but with the child, I would definitely speak up. Okay, I could definitely see that perspective, like, because there is a child involved and you don't want the child to be around somebody like that, a person that doesn't respect you or her. Not the asshole. Normally, I advise to not say a word. However, since she has a disabled child, I'll land on the side of telling her what she's getting into for her child's sake. Said child will be the ultimate victim in all of this. Okay. T. Tell him. Tell him it might ruin your friendship. And honestly, what kind of friendship doesn't have like a mutual respect for each other anyway? So, not the asshole. 2 for 1. 2 for 1, guys. Let's do one more. Let's do one more, because why not? Ooh. Ooh! This one was posted 32 minutes ago, so the tea is piping hot. Am I the asshole for not wanting my girlfriend to reconnect with her ex? I would say no. I would say no, but let's be realistic here. You definitely could be. So for context, me, male 20, and my female 20 girlfriend have been together for 3 years, and over those 3 years, we have had long debates on if our exes ever tried to reconnect with us. Okay? I personally said I would be really uncomfortable if my girlfriend were to reconnect and become friends with someone who's seen her naked, had a romantic past, and treated her terribly. Okay, let's just like make a really quick note and say you are 20 years old. She is 20 years old. You two are babies. You're little babies. And I totally understand the insecurity that comes, especially at that age, with sexuality and things like that, and jealousy, and it creates insecurity, but you're going to be okay. You're going to find the confidence again. I promise. You will grow. As long as you want to, you will grow and you will get past those things. So I do understand that. I get it, especially at such a young age. She's really upset and doesn't agree with me on that and says that I'm being insecure and controlling. Jump to today, where her ex added her on Snapchat randomly out of the blue on a new account. She asked me if it would be okay if she talked to her and caught up and potentially rekindled their friendship. I, of course, said it makes me uncomfortable and I don't want her to do that. She then starts to get upset until I eventually give in, but say I don't want them to hang out in person. She then proceeds to get very upset with me and called me insecure and controlling again, and then argued with me for about an hour about our past talks and how this is really boundary breaking. Let's be so for real right now. If you guys are in a relationship and you don't want her to talk to any of her past lovers, period. That's the end of the relationship. I'm sorry. If she wants to talk to her ex, then she doesn't need to be talking to you. That's my personal opinion. What is the point of being friends with your ex? It's not necessary. You're in a new relationship. You don't need to be friends with your ex. If your ex is not comfortable, or if your current partner is not comfortable with you being friends with your ex, then you should not be friends with your ex. I'm sorry. It's just not necessary. You can be friends with other people that you are not romantically involved with, and you can get a lot of great things out of friendships with people that you do not have a past with, and that's okay. You don't need to be friends with those people, especially since you're young and clearly there are insecurities involved in your current relationship. If she can't meet you there, then you guys shouldn't be together, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to be together. You can break up, and that's okay. You're very young, and I certainly don't think that she would be responding the same way if you had people reaching out to you. So let's see if anybody's commented since this post is so new. Not the asshole. It is a common and reasonable boundary to have. You expressed your boundaries. She doesn't care. Sounds like a very reasonable excuse to break it off. Maybe there is a logical excuse that could make more sense for this to happen, but for most people, it is just a bad sign. Agreed. Agreed. Next comment. Not the asshole. She should respect your decisions and feelings. Agreed. NTA. Why on earth is she so desperate to rekindle this specific friendship? It doesn't seem like she and the ex are around each other via work, school, or some other unavoidable reason. So to push so hard for this isn't because she has to keep things cordial. It's because she wants to rekindle that friendship. It might not be anything malicious, but it's definitely suspicious. Your hesitancy is not unreasonable. I agree wholeheartedly. And also, be with somebody that respects your boundaries. You are so young and you deserve that. And it's okay that you're feeling a little insecure about your partner's ex. You're allowed to feel that insecurity, especially when you're so young and you don't have a lot of experiences to shape you any other way. So respect your own boundaries and let her know you don't feel comfortable. Period. You deserve that. Well, you guys, there's some of the tea from 2026 so far. It's nice to see you. I miss you guys. I will be posting a lot more in 2026. Please keep up with me here on Instagram and on Twitch, as I'm planning on getting back into streaming and playing some horror games with you guys. My Twitch handle is the same as here, flosluna. I miss you guys. I hope you're doing well. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very soon.